As of recording this, we are on day 5, quickly going into day 6 of White Fox being released to the public. While most high-level players have figured out a good way of using her, there's one aspect that I am surprised I haven't seen anyone talk about yet. So, here we go. I'm quickly putting this video together relatively fast, so don't expect the quality to be high. And this is strictly just a combo guide, how to improve at the combos and how to implement the combos. This is not a full White Fox guide. I might make one if people want one, but I'm just here to show everyone the combos because I don't know how no one else has found these yet or been using them. It's kind of crazy to me. I'm going to be breaking down the entire set of combos step by step and teaching you how to learn this from the ground up. When I say you want to learn these from the ground up, trust me, you want to learn these from the ground up. Some of the inputs for these combos are in a very tight window, and if you don't practice to do it from the beginning, you are most likely to end up messing up at different points of the combo. And breaking that muscle memory and reforming it takes extremely long. I've had to spend hours in the practice range redoing my combos because when I created these combos, I just figured them out, and then I realized the timings were wrong, and I spent more time trying to fix the beginning parts than actually practicing using the combos. So don't make the same mistake as me. Begin from the beginning, go through it with me, and I will make sure that you master these combos. So, first things first, let's talk about the easiest part of the combo. This is a thing you're going to be doing all game long. If you press her melee button, she will do a big giant scratch in front of her. This giant melee scratch can animation cancel her auto attack. So if you weave the melee right after her auto attacks, it does a shit ton of damage. You will be using this all the time. Whenever you see a tank or some other brawler or diver trying to jump on top of you or your teammates, and you're relatively close, you'll be hitting this a lot. Your orb will still bounce to any allies that are near you, or extra damage if there's another enemy, and the claw has a giant AoE. This is the most basic part of her kit to learn. If you take nothing else from this video and think the rest of the combos are just too complicated, at least take this away. You will do so much damage. The next part of her combos is a fairly simple bit. We're actually going to do 2 at once. So we have her melee auto cancel into an auto attack going straight into her fox form. It's a animation cancel of her melee into fox form, and then almost immediately when you transform into fox form, the melee hits. Most of her combos are going to be animation cancels, and they can get very quick, very fast. This is one that you're going to do when you are right up in the enemy's face and you want to transform into White Fox. You're just gonna go and now you're in fox form. You can continue to swipe in fox form, you can jump, you can do the tail flip, you can do a lot of things from here. But learning to do this is part of her basic everything. The second part is a melee auto in her melee form, which you then animation cancel by canceling the form into her auto attack into a melee cancel. The auto attack in your melee form is 35 damage, so together this totals to 110 damage whenever you go in or out of melee form. Be sure to practice the one for going out of melee form to doing the auto attack, auto cancel melee, as that is the one that I've had to practice for multiple hours straight. to refix my muscle memory. If you melee cancel too early, you won't do your auto attack and you'll only do a measly 70 damage. Next, we're going to add the tail flip. Basically, you're going to press your tail flip, and as soon as you press your tail flip, you're going to hold down the melee button. The tail flip animation will get automatically canceled as fast as possible to do the melee form melee. And then once you do the melee form melee, you cancel your melee and do auto attack quick melee. That tail flip brings us up to 160 damage as the tail flip does 50, and already we're bursting down more than half of someone's health if they're not a tank or Blade or Mr. Fantastic. We're not really going to use this one very much. We're going to use the one that's next in the increment. So we're going to take what we just learned and we're going to add one more part to it. We're going to add a melee before the tail flip. This is going to be another 35 damage, bringing us up to 195 damage. And this is what you're going to do if you don't have any dashes, but you're up close with someone and you want to finish them off. You don't get very many chances to use this, as most of the time when you're in fox form up close like this, you're probably auto attacking to keep yourself alive and to just do continuous damage, as your melee form is really good at brawling because of the self-sustainability. But if you need to quickly finish someone off, you can do this, sacrifice fox form, but guarantee a kill. Next, we're going to be working on your most used combos, which is going to be the ones with the dash. So what I want you to do is you're going to go in fox form, you're going to dash at your target dummy, let it do the flip, and then from here you're going to dash at it again. As soon as you press your dash button, hold your auto attack so that it autos at the end. And then you're going to do your melee cancel auto quick melee. The timing for this is a little bit different than the one with the foxtail. Make sure you practice this until you can cancel your melee into the auto attacking quick melee without making the mistake of pressing the quick melee too early. Once you've done that, we can move on to the next part of the combo. Now, just like with the tail swipe, we're going to be adding an auto attack in the melee form right before the actual dash. So it should be melee, dash, melee, cancel to auto attack, quick melee. And with that, the total for this so far is 185 damage. Now, at the beginning of the combo, we're going to add a tail swipe. If you do it correctly, it should look something like this. You should hear multiple hit markers go off right as you're dashing, basically. And with the tail swipe added to the combo, that's another 50 damage, bringing our total to 235 damage. So, going how we have been going, I would have had you guys practice with a melee before the tail swipe, but for some reason this changes the whole timing of the combos and just makes everything weird if you don't immediately do the melee after that first dash with the flip. So we're just going to move on to the full combo with the flip. Of course, if you want to practice this anyway, you can. However, because the timing is different than the combo with the dash, it can mess up your dash combo. So learn the dash combo first because you're going to use it more often. Just note that adding the melee adds another 35 damage to the combo, bringing the combo's total up to 270 damage. We're going to add the initial dash now. So you're going to dash and flip, and then from there you're going to delay pressing the tail of it so you can auto attack, then auto, tail, auto, dash, melee, cancel the melee form into auto and quick melee. This brings the total damage up to 310 damage, and you are now killing anyone who has 300 health or lower, as long as they're not getting healed. But chances are they could be getting healed, which is part of why we're going to continue this combo even further. Now, this combo is the one you're going to be using the most, except you're most likely not going to be using the melee cancel into the auto and quick melee, because most of the time you're not fighting the squishies. Most of the time you're fighting the divers with overhealth or the tanks, and usually you want to continue using your auto attacks in melee form. However, if you do get the chance to go on top of the squishy and the dashes don't mess up, then this is perfectly amazing to deal the finishing blow to any squishy. That is if they weren't low enough health to just die from the dash part in the first place. Sometimes though, after you do the flip, your target is too far away for you to actually hit them in melee and do the melee dash combo. So instead, in those circumstances, you're going to do a different combo. Basically, you're going to add a dash to your tail flip combo. So now it's going to be dash, melee, tail flip, melee, cancel, auto, quick melee. Now, most of the time, again, you're not going to be canceling your melee form to do the auto into quick melee, just because, again, most of the time you do want to stay in fox form afterwards. But if you do need to finish someone off, when you want to dash onto people, to make it more consistent, you're going to want to charm them. But that part is easy, so I'm just going to give you the full rest of the combo. You're going to do left click, charm, into your melee form, immediately dashing as soon as you turn on the melee form. You're going to flip over them, and you're going to do the rest of the combo as we've been doing. Melee, tail, melee, dash, melee, cancel the melee form into an auto, and quick melee. With the dash alone, we were up to 310 damage, but now adding in the auto and the charm at the beginning, which are 40 and 65 damage respectively, our new damage cap has just gone up to 415 damage. Now, if you know how to do math, you might have realized that if you take away the melee, auto, and quick melee at the end of the combo still does a good 305 damage, meaning that without the melee at the end and the auto into quick melee, you will still kill any squishy just by adding the auto attack and the charm at the beginning of your combo. There is one more combo I'm going to show you. It's not really as practical because it requires so much time to actually do that it may not be as useful. But I do think it's very interesting just to see her damage output at her maximum, so I hope you enjoy. So, one question you may have is, when do I turn off the melee form? Which is a really good question. Basically, the only time you're really going to do this is if you are fighting one hero, and that hero is not going to kill you. If you know you can out DPS them and kill them before they can kill you, that's when you drop melee form and you start putting out 75 damage with your auto melee cancel. You need to make sure you have almost full health, and you need to make sure their health is low enough that even if they were to hit you with a fast combo of some sort that they might have, or CC you, that you are not in the line of sight of the other enemies, and that you can just let them do their shit to you. Also, if your other support is like pocket healing you, that's also a great time to do it. Oh, speaking of healing, did I mention that the combos actually do a shit ton of healing? You can go from like 50 health to 260 in the dash combo. It's really insane. Once you have these combos down, I'd recommend practicing the ranged combos from this pillar with this flying enemy. There are a lot of times that verticality will fuck with your combos, and you need to be practiced with it if you want to continuously land your combos. There's also a problem right now where the dashes have a tendency to no-reg or teleport or things like that. I have actually found that the best way to avoid these kinds of situations is actually to have White Fox's body partially covering the area where the enemy is on their left side and keeping the crosshair above their health bar. This is the most consistent way to keep your dashes going, and you can do it as long as you can turn to keep this position above their head. A lot of the no-regs seem to happen if your crosshair is slightly too slightly too low. It seems like hitting their feet for some reason just makes the game glitch out or something. And that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this little combo guide. Like I said before, I don't know if I'm going to make a full-on White Fox how to play video. I'm not really a content creator. I just made this because I didn't see anyone else doing it, and I thought it'd be cool to be the first person to kind of show this kind of stuff. So I hope you all enjoy this and go kick some ass as White Fox. Show them that White Fox is not one to be trifled with. Go kick some ass, okay? Bye.